There I am. Welcome back. Forgot to flip the lid there. MTG Joe here. We are going to kick off the stream. The Arena Open is this weekend. It is a tournament built into Arena. Day 1 is best of 1. If you qualify, it's 7 and 2, I believe. You get to play day 2, where if you get a certain record, you win cash prizes. I think it's $1,000 or $2,000 depending on your placing. This go around, it is historic, which is my preferred format, but I play a lot on the channel recently. Unfortunately, Team of Rec has found its way into this format as well. So I was feeling confident with Goblins. I started off 12-0 with the deck. I'm now 17-12. The meta has definitely adjusted, but also just bad variance, and I don't want to kind of leave a deck up to chance if I do play in the event. I'm still uncertain if I will, but I'm going to test out some decks. So what we have here is kind of a shell that I've been most comfortable with, Phyrexian Obliterator shells. At this point, I played every other color combination except Golgari. It's generally base black with all the lands tapping for black, and then I add in splashes of the other colors. So Golgari is green and black. The main things we get in these color formats is Explore, which I think is really good here. It's card draw for 2 mana, but also gets us ahead on land, so it allows us to play our 4 drops on turn 3. You get Scavenging Ooze to gain life and to eat away the graveyard. Maelstrom Pulse is good against the field decks, flexible removal. And then you get Thragtusk on the top end, gain you some life. And I'm trying out Vraska here as well. This is old Ixalan Vraska. Create a pirate with menace, destroy artifact, creature, enchantment, or reset your opponent's life total to 1. Basically, the core of the deck is kill things and then drop a threat. Gifted Aetherborn is very good in this deck. Gains you life early, trades up with the Death Touch. You got Murderous Riders as removal and creatures. Phyrexian Obliterator, obviously to the center stage of the deck. And then you also have Massacre Worm on the top end. There's a lot of field decks, goblin decks, weenie decks. I've killed people just casting this for, like, yesterday I did it for 26 off of a field player. It was best because they gave me a premature GG. And then a couple cards I'm trying out. So you have Grasp of Darkness has been really good in these decks. Pestilence Haze is something I want to try out. It's effectively a Cryocarnarium that does an exile, but also gives you the option, if you're playing against control, that you can remove loyalty counters off things. So it's a different angle to attack it with. And then we have 4 mana sweepers, Extinction Event, and Languish to kind of clean things up. Mana base pretty simple. You got your castles and then a bunch of dual lands included. We're playing best of 1 today to test out, but there's a sideboard here. I'll post all the lists afterwards after we tune them. This one I just threw together, so I haven't tested it that much. I'll also probably give some run to the Rakdos version that I've been having some success with. Very similar concept. You get Angrath instead of Vraska, Bedevil instead of Pulse, Kroxa in there as well, and then some Bone Crusher Giants. And in this version, we're using Mind Stone to ramp. Playing 26 lands in both decks. You're usually, because you're curving out at 6 mana, you're going to want that mana in there. And we'll queue this up for the Mythic Ladder. I'm in the low 90%. Like I said, I went on a very bad losing streak the other day. One of those, no matter what decks you pick up, you lose in basically the most miraculous, spectacular ways. We go first. This hand's probably fine. I've been recognizing a lot more names in the Mythic Ladder. Just you play against the same people sometimes when you're kind of falling in to the ranks. This hand I can clear up an early attacker, then drop Languish to regroup, and then play Thragtusk. Okay, so this is likely Rakdos, Kroxa. Ooh, we got some spice, some Grixis. This is probably Reanimator then. So if they're playing Reanimator, this Grasp isn't probably that good, but I don't want to necessarily kill this just yet. Okay, so we'll explore here. Would have preferred this last turn. And we didn't draw a land. 26 lands with the extra card draw, didn't hit a land. Pulse is actually good because if they reanimate something, we're okay here. Oh, they're a breach deck. Oh, okay, so that changes things. That's a bit different. Okay, this needs to die. So they're Grixis breach. And of course, just never draw lands. This is part of the reason with Best of One that's pretty bad. Like, our deck is got a 47% chance of drawing a land and we're just not hitting them. Kidding me? Talisman, I'll get them something, but it can get us something. I think we just go Aetherborn. Probably just get Scavenging Ooze off the Wishclaw Talisman. This is actually hilarious that we just can't draw land. So they're probably just going to try to pop off. I think we just passed the turn. So how Breach usually works is they'll cycle through a bunch of cheap artifacts. So we're going to kill this Diligent Excavator when it comes in. But we're probably dead here. And then you basically generate mana and then play. So they don't have a Mox. So I'm gonna do this now before they have like Mox Amber, they can start generating mana, but they don't have a legendary, which is interesting. Can't really draw much from this game. This isn't a really top tier deck, and we just haven't seen really anything in terms of land. Like, kind of silly. They get to search. They don't search. It's very odd. So they're given an opening. They have Breach. Same idea. You cast this, you start milling, but we need to see how they win. Because this will cost 2 mana. So it's depending on how they generate the mana for Thassa's Oracle, which is typically the way. Okay, so they have the Amber, but where's their legendary? Oh, okay, so there's their legendary. They cast it, and now if they hit an Amber, then they basically loop it, and then they could generate the mana. Okay. Yeah, you give me the GG, but you gotta hit your other. Okay, now they hit the other Amber. So you gotta wait for them to hit the second Amber. When they have the 2 Ambers, basically you just keep casting them, and then you're pretty much deterministic to basically go through your whole deck. They could generate enough mana, play out the second one, and go from there. 26 lands, never hit land 4 with your hand full. The Breach decks actually aren't probably too bad in Best of One, because like they usually succumb pretty hard to graveyard hate. And our decks aren't really meant to beat combo. We're meant to beat creatures. So we're hedging again. Like, we want to see the field matchups. We want to see goblins. We want to see white weenie, vampires, stuff like that. The combo deck, the Breach decks, we're not really situated with the main board to beat. Kethis, probably, maybe we can beat. just with the removal. This is actually an interesting turn because they can hold up counters going forward. I actually think we get Aetherborn down right now. Next turn I can explore or Grasp of Darkness depending what they do. This looks like mono blue tempo. So if they get Curious Obsession, can they go Sea Dasher? They get a card draw out of it, but we can kill it. I think it's important here, like we can explore to try to hit a land, but I think it makes more sense to kill that. Just because they're going to get a lot of card advantage off it. So they can flash something in here. Which is probably fine. I think we just go Aetherborn here. Essence Capture. Probably okay with another Aetherborn, to be honest. This turn's probably going to be Haze or Murderous Rider. Okay. So they likely have a counter here, but we're still winning this race. They hit us for 3, but we gain 2. So I'm going to do this, because if I hit a land, then I'm going to hold up the Murderous Rider. They got us twice. Get him here. And they have the counter. So now the race is going to be a bit tough. I think we just do this, say go. Because the thing is, they could counter this pretty easy. And I want them to tap out on their turn. Scary Terry can adapt soon, so we probably put it on that. Forced into this, but we're basically dead here. They can adapt this now. That's 5, 6, 7, 8 exactly, so I needed to attack in. Yeah. This Golgari version is a little slow. And like I haven't really played too much best of one. Give it 1 or 2 more, see how it goes. I already qualified for top 1200 last month, so our final ranking this month doesn't matter. Opponent goes first, they're on Yorion, so Yorion's usually field. So Murderous Rider can... no. Grasp of Darkness could go away. Urion's either control or field. AKG. Yeah, I was just watching the Raptors game. The Orlando scrimmage basketball is nice. Especially we haven't had much. What team do you go for? Cue another game where we just don't draw. Their lands have been awful. You kidding me? We have 26 lands. The old field clifftop guardian idol deck. Weird inclusion. If you're a field deck, you want to prioritize lands. I think here we just get both obliterators down. They could have a sweeper if they hit another white source, but I have no clue what the opponent's on. Pass turn here. Obviously would have liked to play that if they had a sweeper coming. It's likely to me means that they have something. Either like Shatter. Great analysis, Joe. They either have like Shatter or some sort of board wipe. Born's fine. Because I could have these guardian idols become creatures for 2 mana. I think we just go Thragtusk here. And then just, if we can, drop Vraska next turn. They go Yorion, we're okay. Fine, even if they bounce this, we still get the token.
Don't worry, I got this.
Cycled 2 Teferis to set me back a turn. So ideally land into Vraska would be great here. Got Pulse. Actually don't mind that. Pulse both those. I also don't understand how we're just not drawing land. We have 26 lands in our deck. Do I have to go to 27?
I'll protect you.
See if they go Yorion here. Yeah, this looks like drop Yorion, bounce, bounce. Massacre Worm that, or a Murderous Rider that. So it's Jeskai Field. Guess what we could have done too is just take out Teferi. Guess this is probably a board wipe. Dragonfire. I think what we do here, play this. Take that out. I don't want them to blink it. Then you can get the chain going.
We will meet again.
This gives me something to play next turn as well. If we don't, Instant Speed Clarion. Really weird Jeskai control. Ooh. Okay, we're gonna set him up to try to win with Masker Worm. I can Vraska. It doesn't look like they're playing counters.
Stand by and watch. This might be a bad idea.
So here... Let's just go Thrag Test. This will potentially get them to overcommit, play out one more land, and then I just Masker Worm the board. So Thrag Test in here for the more aggressive matchups. It's not very good against field decks, because you don't really punch through any damage. Bombardment deck. Don't hit my lines, don't hit my lines. It's the beginning of your end step. So it's line destruction with field. Hit my Thrag Test, hit my Thrag Test, hit my Thrag Test.
Try this.
They're gonna hit one of my lines though. They might hit two. Shit. Then Yorion blinks it. Yeah, I'm dead. They're gonna take out two lands. Oh, that was a stupid way. Okay. Not feeling this version. Let's go to Rakdos. It's missing some of its staying power. Let's test out Rakdos. See how that one goes. See if our 26 lands works better in this version. This mana base is a bit awkward. Try it. Literally our only two lands other than a castle that would come in this way. Perfect. Shock Crocs of them. Mind Stones aren't the best in the list, just because like we still can't get ahead, but it does help us ramp up. Right, Goblins? Goblins is iffy. They can get around sometimes. In this case, probably want to do another Croxa this turn. And then next turn I can Mind Stone and Grasp of Darkness. You don't really want to kill the Wily Goblin. Snoop you'll want to kill. Yeah, especially because they're short lines here. So now we know they're guiding that, and then next turn I can Masker Worm. Hey Jetty Mike, I haven't played the mono white version to be honest, so I'm not 100% sure how it plays out. Let's do this. It's better on the mana. And then everything I kill going forward can dome them for 2. Yeah, sorry. I haven't played much Standard in the last like 2 weeks, so I don't know exactly how good the mono white version is. Okay, so they got Prospector. They're probably trying to go wide here. Probably want to cycle this Savai Trinome. pop off next turn. I can wipe their board next turn though. Oh, they're dead. I just languished them. They also can't pop off that way. The mono white version in Historic's pretty good because you get the forward, you get Adanto Vanguard, you get Legion's End. Okay, so that one's already a lot better. I like the Rakdos version a lot. Hey Joker Jacob, how's it going? Thanks for stopping by. We are testing out best of one decks for the Arena Open Day 1, deciding if I'm going to play in it. We ran Golgari Obliterator, did not like it. Running Rakdos, which I've always liked. Mindstone's good. Yeah, pretty much the case. Massacre Worm go brrrr. So this allows us to Extinction Event or Languish the next turn if needed. I'm gonna wait one more turn on that, I think. Am I okay with another land? Because it's castle, I think I am. If it was just a regular land, I wouldn't. So we know they're drawing a land this turn. I think I want Obliterator this turn. Because next turn I can languish them afterwards. We know they're drawing a land. Does open them up to just get some virtual card advantage, but I want them to commit a bit more to the board. Also, this lets me apply pressure, which is generally important. So I can do odd here. It's annoying because I do lose, because all creatures get -4/4 till end of turn. So I do lose my Phyrexian Obliterator. Because this deals 1 damage to any target. But if they do that, they have to sack a land. I think we keep that open to cycle. Okay, that's fine. You lose a land as well in the process. So we set him back. They are drawing a land, but I think that's a fair exchange. They have the Chieftain. I'm gonna keep this because it lets me kill it and play it out. Really just want to control the board here. We can start cycling these Mind Stones if needed. I think I might want to go another Languish instead of Event. They have lands, so this is likely gonna be going to get Muxus. One, two, three, four. So doing this before they can activate Krenko. Krenko will go to hand, so they don't get that. Just land tapped, play out the other Mind Stone. I'm gonna hold this back Gives me a blocker if this gets haste. Also gives me a turn where if they don't hit this, I'm okay. Worked out okay. Murderous Rider's good here. I want to save the board wipe till afterwards, because if they get this down, I need to have something. Okay, so now we see. Yep, that's fine. Can extinction event most of their board away. See, they see the line, they sack. For this, they can try to get haste, but they don't have enough miscellaneous bodies to go for it. Languish should be a good draw here. Muxus on top, which doesn't really help the case, because now they're going to get to one of their haste threats. So they can sack their whole board to play this Muxus. Actually, we need to survive a turn and then hit one of our 3 Massacre Worms. So they sack this, hits this. The good thing is we've already seen 2 Krankos. Most of these lists run at most 3. They need to sack the Prospector here. If they sack this, they can't play this. Wily Goblins. So I got a block here. 3, 6, 8, 10, 11. Yeah, I'm dead. 11. Not too bad. The Goblins matchup's a really 50-50 one. You're kind of at the whim of Muxus, and it kind of generates a lot of value there, but you can have the board wipes early to kind of stop them. They had that Goblin Arsonist. That's what kind of did us in that game, because it was able to take out our Obliterator. Generally, you want to take them off the card advantage, get rid of the Snoop as early as possible, and then if they do have Skirk Prospector, that's usually a kill on the spot. Barn here. Okay, that's Mahdi. Really want to land here if we could drop Obliterator next turn. Probably going to prioritize the Shock, but I'm going to wait for them to go to attacks. Okay, looks like Death Dweller. So here... Kill this. I'm gonna just trade these off for now. I think that's fine. Basically leaves him with a Fervent Champion. I did take the event off the top, which is okay. Worst case, I just drop a Bone Crusher. Still a decent blocker. Actually, yeah, let's just do this. I was gonna say, with them getting event, if they have another Robber, but they're a couple turns away from that. Death Dweller doesn't completely have dead to this because they basically just deal a damage with it because they get the Death Touch off the Fanatical Firebrand or Chain Whirler. Yeah, so they deal a point. They'll have to sack one thing. I will be able to double removal spell next turn. Because that has Menace. I think I just want to hold up removal. We're really just hoping for this worm to clean up a lot of things. Just kill everything. It's worse if they have like Chain Whirler. Our life total is still pretty high, so I can start castling soon as well. So we've lost. Still have 2 Languish. Wouldn't mind a Croxa around now. Xmadi. Okay, so they are playing Cleave, which is good to know. There's a Croxa. Don't think we want to event them. We offer the trade here. Oops, naturally draw Cleave again. Okay, so Mind Stone basically puts them in a World of Hurt next turn. Because I wipe their board, they take... Oh yeah, they are going to take up a lot. So they have the Aetherborn. The Aetherborn will survive. Don't think they want to play Event. They're probably just going to play out Aetherborn. It's a Death Toucher, so they might be inclined to go with that. If they do play Event, then it's fine as well. Really liking how many variations of Rakdos there are in Historic. Perfect. They're dead. Oh, they're extra dead. That animation's the best. So they're dead because, well, they're not quite. They can block. They take 2. And now they're dead. So Rakdos has felt a lot better. I'm at like 67% win rate with it in best of 1. Usually Goblins is 50-50, The field matchups depends if you hit Worm or not and how quick they pop off. Same with Team Rec. Their sweepers don't do well against Obliterator. Okay. Well, if it's a creature-based matchup, we're pretty good. If it's like a ramp deck, we're not so hot. Well, I guess if it's field, we have Masker Worm, but we want some more upplay. Probably run this one more, and then I got a Teamer Niv deck that I don't know if it's any good, but it looks fun, and that's all that matters. Probably goblins. Yeah, everyone's on goblins. We have a land on top. It's fine to 1-for-1 here. I just want to get this Obliterator down if possible. They go get Muxus. You can usually tell if they have a Muxus in hand, they get Prospector. If they don't, sick. Sick, sick, sick. Can you send me that Grixis list, Damerfin? I'm a sucker for Grixis. So I can Languish here, which is pretty good. Or do we go Obliterator? They can't exactly pop off this turn, so I think we just go second Obliterator. Well, I guess if they get Prospector. No, they just get that. Surprised they did that. Weird. Token. Oh no, that actually screws up my Obliterator. Calm down, buddy. Don't good game me yet. If we draw a land, they're dead. Yeah, if we draw a land. Now we give them the good game. Cocky goblin players. I think they played that wrong. They shouldn't have fetched there. They could have dropped Muxus down. Had they kept the treasure. Yeah, let's run this one more. See if we finish on a winning note. Fervent. We do need a red source eventually. Ten of our 26 lands only tap for black, everything else taps for red. I'm very surprised they did that unless they have skewer. That's fine. Hey, Sika, I can't pronounce. Seki Jakolexi. That one's a hard one to say. I'm gonna probably hang on. We'll see what they play out if we just want to Languish. Probably. So this opens them up for like skewers and stuff and light up the stage. Might have been right to kill him there. They don't commit more creatures to the board. fine. Can't quite languish this turn. Cool. I'll check it out after this. This one's gonna be tight. You know what? I'm gonna do this now, because if they have Wizard's Lightning, it gets cost reduced. Bone Crusher. Hey, red source. Try that out. Oops. So we are getting pretty low. Do you want like an Obliterator or something? Because we're basically 2 burn spells away from dying. Which is a very real possibility. That's sick. That's sick.
You're just
Yuck.
your crew for my freedom. A fair price.
And then it's Zax. Might just be a little too late on this one though. That's pretty brutal. Can't really afford to not do that. I'm gonna have to keep this to cycle. Take 2 here. Dead to Stiff Breeze here. Well, while good normally. Okay. No burn spell 1 time. No burn spell 1 time. What did we draw this game? A reasonable collection of cards. You need some sort of life gain, which... Pestilence Haze doesn't really do it. So if I get Masker Worm, if they don't kill me this turn, Masker Worm wipes their board, and then I attack them for like, lethal. There you go, Bone Crusher. Yeah, Xaxes. That was a rip on their part. That exact collection of cards. Best of One's such like a shit show. Cause like I think it's reasonable what we've had. Playing like this out. So this is a Teamer Niv deck. So it's got the Curiosity Niv combo. You got 8 multi-ramps. You got the draw kind of 2 package here. Some cheap interaction as well. Just really trying to get Niv out as quick as possible. Let's run it for a game, see how it goes. Still think there's merits to the Obliterator deck. You're just gonna kind of get burnt out sometimes. I wish there was like Mind Stone, but taps for black. Don't know what we're against yet. I was hoping for one of our early accelerants. I'm actually gonna kill this now because this gets annoying with our adventure cards. So I could get ahead with Growth Spiral. I think we just do this. This probably is Boggles, so once they throw something on, yeah, it's Boggles. Okay, so we got Niv, which is nice. We are the one green source here, a little awkward. So the thing is, they can go with a protection spell on it next turn, or I could bounce it now. I think we really just want to set them back as much as possible. Cool, that gets me a bit closer. Okay, so we can Niv Mizzet next turn, which is nice. So I think we try to get this off the battlefield. They might have Fight as one. This card, for those of you who haven't been playing long, was an absolute house when it first got printed. Basically, if you untapped with it, you pretty much always won the game. Then they created a whole bunch of broken cards, and now we're here. Still very much a race. Opt with Niv is really good afterwards. I just wish this forest wasn't a forest. It very well can kill us next turn. We have a reader. So we got a ping with the untap. As long as they don't get the flying. If they get the flying, then we're in trouble. Yeah. I gotta throw this Niv in the way. Damn it. I don't really have... I need like Brazen Borer. Oh, I'm just dead. Boggles has and forever will be a deck that's difficult for is it base decks to deal with. The one thing I do think I want to do want to get rid of these. I want every land in my deck. To be able to hit this. So let's go Sulfur, Rootbound, Island. Still have a lot of green sources, so we're okay. I think that game might be okay. Like, we would have been able to assign 2 points of damage. We would have been able to get thing down a turn earlier. Sounds much better. So I'm probably going to do a setup turn with Joel Reel. Because then next turn I can start making tokens. Mono white life. Looking particularly bad here. Ooh, that's a nice draw. I'm gonna do this now while that's still relevant. Because then that gives me my draw for next turn. So hang on, we can bounce something and shock. Whenever another creature enters a battlefield under your control, gain a life. That's fine. Kill this. Probably Heliod. It's the biggest tempo play. We're getting to a point where we can activate this. So until then, creatures you control have base power, toughness, XX, or X is the cards in your hand. So we do need to get some extra cards. See if they go in with healer. Should probably have kept this. That's gonna be troublesome. Hoi, 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 hoi. Heliod's active. Now we're in trouble. Might want to get rid of these Aether Gusts. Just play like Scorching Dragonfire. Or like Lightning Strike would be good. Arrow could potentially get us back in this. So what are we looking for? Get double activation there. Put it on Hawk. I need to reset this. I only have a Brazen Borrower. Can't really shock anything. That's the problem. They can just hit me for 4. Can't really do much there. The Aether Gusts seem weak here, especially if we're losing to life gain. Alright, this deck's cute, but I don't think it does much. Let's run one more with Obliterator. Probably most content with this one. The other option instead of Mind Stone is Dusk Legion Zealot. Play out 2 of those. Go up another Angrath. Is Angrath even good though? Probably not. Play the Dusk Legions. Just give me some more card draw in here. Let's try this out. I did cast a Niv in 2020, so it's something. May just want to be more proactive with our decks. Opponent goes first. Sounds reasonable. Not if it's control. If it's control, this hand is very bad. It's the Dimir Obliterator deck, most likely. If they take an event, then that's probably what it's going to be. I take Bone Crusher, maybe. Field won't play Thought Erasure. Gonna keep this to cycle. Krasis. Is this Reanimator or they didn't Surveil? Duress and Best of One. Wouldn't mind a Black Castle. Keep this for Bolus. Angrath's good. Let's just get cards out of their hands. It's Grixis. They're gonna have a clean way to kill Obliterator at any point in the game.
Resonate throughout the multiverse.
Need an answer here.
My schemes are never ending.
I'm dead otherwise. Bolus could downtick.
No fire, no
Yeah, we're not beating Grixis with this deck. So my deck that I put together here, it's mainly to prey on creature decks.
generous.
Likely means they have an answer for Angrath. They're just going to pop this off for the ultimate. Can't beat both of these at this point. Yikes. Alright, let's go linear. Alright, this is about as linear as you can go. Ideally trying to get turn 4 Ugin out. See if that plays any better right now. These Obliterator decks were like great against the field of Gruul. The go wide token strategies tend to be a bit troublesome at times. Like you have your sweepers, but goblins can win with haste. We've also lost to quite a bit of jank. Alright, so we're gonna go Ketria Triome. Can go Harbor. If we draw another untapped land, goblins. Oh no, I had to play the Blast Zone. Screwed that up. So if I played this out, then I could have played out the Hinterland afterwards and then played an Explore. Oh no, I couldn't. This was turn 2 for me. Never mind. I'm thinking turn 3, or if you have the elf on one. We might just be getting Muxus next turn. That's very real. Can't Ugin next turn. Six here. Nissa. Hydroid Krasis. I think we just go Krasis 5 here. So the one downside is when you don't find your Ugins, 9% chance. Teferi also helps us loot. So that's going to give them likely the Muxus, so they have it. So we need an Ugin like this turn. Sick! Got to -4 here. Not out of the woods yet, but we're in a pretty good spot. Most of their haste threats only have 2 power, so they would need a land and a haste threat. And then once I plus Ugin, then we're pretty good. Kill that.
I will destroy if I must.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I want to keep the Scry available. I don't want to draw like Llanowar Elves.
Be wary of the ground you walk on.
if you're not familiar with the interaction, Nissa's lands. Do I even play the elf here? Probably. I think we're okay to shock here. Nissa's lands are colorless, so they don't get swept by Ugin. So this is why we do this. So we're looking for like a Krasis, an Uro, another Nissa. So let's wipe the board. Yeah, I basically just float the mana and then attack them in. Sweet, sweet. Probably good for one more. Nice thing about best of one is they go quick. Kind of an array. I've played a lot of goblins. If you do want to play goblins, I have a video up. So ideally want one more land. The field matchup's so-so because we have Ugins that can get around that. Cool, cool. Just pass turn here. We don't know if this is a Teamer Rec version and they play Aether Gust. Looks like they're gonna explore here. They have Mystical Dispute in the main. That's pretty rough, not gonna lie. Got heavily punished there. I actually think we cultivate this turn. Because next turn I can drop Uro and explore, and then follow it up with Krasis. Likely have a counter here. Don't. Looking for Ugin or Nissa. Cute. It's gonna be Sharknado. X3. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. With Rekka, it's gonna be a pain. Last zone's not bad. It helps me get rid of this wreck. What are the chances my Nissa survives? another Sharknado. They hit this. I think we just refill our hand here. Try to get Ugin. Yeah, so we did have the shark. Ah, da 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 da. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Effectively 9 mana. So they moved to playing Mystical Disputes over the Aethergust main, which is interesting.
I cannot protect you anymore.
So it looks like Explosion. I want them to ban this stupid card. Like, we're doing broken ramp things. That's very interesting. I mean, we gotta go for it. We're most likely dead next turn. Okay, so this is more of a counter-based version. We've seen nearly half their deck, so I assume they have another explosion. Okay, they don't. Would have been a quick QQ. I don't think we're resolving anything ever again against this deck. Cards 8. Gives me 3 life, takes me to 16. So they're playing Disputes and Aether Gusts and Neutralize. So they're just like completely off board. How does this deck beat aggro? There's like no way I win this. Surprising I didn't upkeep Scry. They've like pushed back so much too. And they didn't play a land, so their hand's all gas. Yeah, I can't. Our deck doesn't do well against counters. We had our opening. Punished for not exploring. Takes me if this resolves to 13, but I imagine they have something. I get Tail's End. BB, they flash it at 6, 7, 6, 12, 14. Yikes! Yikes, yikes, yikes. Alright. I'm not feeling best of one. A lot of the nuance and stuff, like we lost games where you can sideboard, like I still like this deck. And with your sideboard against stuff, like you have options. This should be a Cryocarnarium. Like you have options in there. Actually, this should be the... Yeah, it's probably a Cry. Or something. Gain life. Moment of Craving, maybe. Like there's options for your sideboard there. What would we play there? Basically, your last spot, I have Rekindling Phoenix. You'd want probably a threat. I might even play Moment of Craving just with all the goblins going around. Seems reasonable. I don't think we want Tybalt. I had these in originally, but they don't play that well with the rest of the deck. What do we have? There's not really much in Rakdos. Honestly, probably play another Bedevil. Chandra's not even good against control. Guess this is fine. Yeah. So we played some decks to see. It's kind of a little all over the place. Ideally, you're going to want to probably play that Temur Rec deck. Gives you the most card draw. Goblins is inherently powerful, but kind of loses to itself more often than not. Plus, more people are siding for it. Play a ramp deck, probably. I'd probably try Rakdos. I don't have all the Vampires cards, otherwise I play Vampires a bit too. But give you some ideas. If you do have any cool best of one decks, let me know. If not, we'll come back for the next stream and we'll play some more best of 3 stuff. Anyways, thanks for stopping by, everyone. Have a great evening and take care and stay safe.